You better hello there, everyone. Let's get this case on the road. Let's get this case on the road. Adrian did it. This is what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. You think court today there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you? A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin his whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lai. Dude, like I said yesterday. I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? Can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. No, I understand. Well, it's almost time. Mia. But you don't believe there's someone who just made this account yesterday and discovered your channel? I mean, that I might believe, but I wouldn't believe that he immediately started like paying out bits in intervals of 1 bit, so no. No. You must get a complete acquittal today. I know. Can't focus on my situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed, well, let's get going. And again, it wouldn't even make much sense on like a small channel like me anyway, because like, I'm barely making money as it is anyway, so what the hell is your point in trying to fuck over my, my account details? No, I don't know, whatever. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is Mr. Attorney, this is it, Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Tamaya, she's unarmed, right? Also, let me close Discord in the background, because it's distracting me. Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, like shall we say, tired. And don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really we should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win today's contest, if you please. Wait. The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer, dude, what was that? Yeah, no one. There's nothing to do with you. So forget to hear anything. Dude, did you know it just got longer? So, what did you get? What did we get? Court is now in session for the trial of Mutt and Guard. Are the prosecution and the defense ready? Defense is ready, Your Honor. Actually, give me a second, chat. Give me a second. I'm gonna double check something here. It's gonna keep nagging at me. Getting mixed messages here. Like, I see people say that you don't have anything to worry about with bits, but on the other hand, I've also seen people worry like, oh yes, it might be happening. So we'll just have to see what happens. Sorry, chat, it's just gonna keep nagging at me. Defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. White, what happened to Miss Von Karma? No, I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. This present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive in a stable condition. Oh, that's good. Phew. You're... I told you to show up. Your Honor. League of Legends. Death. Due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready. Naturally. Well, this took a twist I didn't expect it to take, actually. Miss Von Karma was shot in the right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I've looked this case over and I'm familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove guilt of Mr. Matt Engard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. Finally found an answer I was struggling though for my long journey this past year. Give me another second, chat. I know. I'm being very obnoxious with this right now. I'm very obnoxious with this right now. That should be it now. Alright, chat, sorry. This was the last time I did something, sorry. I promise. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Well, Gumshoe should be happy with this now. Witness, your name and occupation? My name is Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe? Prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now let's have your testimony. If you want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah. It would have to be with Edgeworth. It would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer I was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. I didn't expect this to happen, that's for sure. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, one Kurita, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believed he was definitely murdered, sir. At first we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. Chat, the pigeon is back. Hold on a second. I'm getting distracted by pigeons now, and Zaza told me yesterday to make a picture of this, so I will make a picture of this. I fucking can't sing like this. Oh, he went on the balcony. No. I think I need to run for a second, Jet. Because otherwise the pigeon is doing footloose while. Well, you didn't get your pictures, Zaza, because the picture was long gone. And for some reason, Maya has opened all the doors as well. So it might have even gone into the apartment at this rate. Why are the windows open? It's fucking cold outside. Ah. Today's share is a cursed fucking day, isn't it? Maybe we should just restart the stream. It's been like fucking 20 minutes of this nonsense. Ah. However, later on we found out the guitar case has nothing to do with the murder. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their room, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say the murder occurred during a 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. Don't worry, Zaz, I will get him one day. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt and God's manager. She's a really pretty lady, yeah, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. It's good for karma, isn't it? Because they would have been whipped by now. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Engard. After visiting his room, she went to the victim's room to get him for the show. So, I see. And that's when she found the victim's body. The cause of death? Wasn't it because Mr. Corrida was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, real pro's attention will be drawn here to this bandana. Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. God damn it. Then what about the knife? Seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. Well, for crafty murder on our hands here. Now, the autopsy report has been updated. At first we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. Oh. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The jamming ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... But? The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. Ah, so much for my theory then. There's some water but only on the top of the lid. Where's Corrida's fingerprints? What convinced you that it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel at night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corrida, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So, you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel? Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I'll believe that's enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. And then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Engard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. And here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in his full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Matt Engard and Juan Corrida were huge rivals with one another. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's more than enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the jamming ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Engard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant brought the knife for the crime, which makes it a premeditated murder. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on a knife used in the stabbing. Chet, I don't know, but when you use knives for food, usually you don't sharpen up to stab someone with. Like, yeah, maybe you can like cut something off it because it's like a little edge to it, but I never really found them sharp enough to stab things with. Like, that doesn't look very sharp, to be honest. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. Great, what was engraved. And there was this button. It was found in the defendant's clothes, wasn't it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Well, this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Are you ready to give in yet, Wright? I'll find a hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like, just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Grr. But in terms of popularity, Mr. Vanguard won, did he not? Yeah, but you know what's ironic, pal? The one Corino was always one step behind Mr. Vanguard and everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Corino lost the Grand Prix in the end. And that's too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Vanguard was beating Mr. Corino in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim is not the rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill him at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective. No, it's not, well... No, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you are fired. Huh? No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's... I look forward to your pension negotiations. No! No, detective, let's continue with the testimony. Sniffle. Oh, my poor pension too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off the Jamming Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell it just by looking at it? The victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterwards. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. How to reel this one in? Fred. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by Fred, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the threads on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. Ugh. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found. We rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Corrida. And then we did a search on them all. And that's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks on like some people. Chad, I like the word lollygag. It's a funny word. Hey, what's he trying to say about me here? How are the fingerprints arranged on a knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. Can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Are you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife, then? There was no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he brought a knife. Sorry, pal. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fall, so it's not great for walking around with either. Well, this is not good. the prosecution can prove that it was premeditated murder we're done for. Phoenix. Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. The button covered in the victim's blood and a knife with Angar's fingerprints. Be careful! If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. Still in the world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find your weakness in his testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix? Oh, bro. Oh, bother. Oh, because he was strangled. So yeah, that doesn't make sense with the knife, does it? So this is my idea. I'm just going to present the fact that he got strangled here.
Objection!
Okay, that doesn't do it. It's also not helping that I'm not in the right mind space for this because of what happened earlier. My brain is like all occupied with other things right now.
Objection!
It's just a knife itself. But why? Wait a second. What? So the basis of the argument is that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client brought a knife beforehand? That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? There's Gatewater still set into the handle. Gatewater? Think I've heard the name somewhere before. Yeah, it's only the hotel where the murder was made committed. Come on now. This hotel, this is the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife is actually property of the hotel. Which means this murder was not premeditated. I mean, it's kind of a wonky argument to go through, but hey, sure. Like, I was sure that they were going to point out the fact that he was strangled first, but... Yes, that's very true. This is very big. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not, it has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is a hotel property. There's no one currently on police force that is dumb enough to not realize this. But I didn't... Oh. The question is... where did this knife come from? Well, it's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Corrida's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate the last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what's on top of the table. There's a knife and a fork on the table. I like how they present this as like, they make a picture of the room. And where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Engard. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Madangard's knife was missing. No. Mr. Wright got gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry the knife onto a door? Why would he carry a knife on the visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was premeditated murder. He's got a point. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps and I just walk headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. You can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of time of your honest time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet, in other words, new evidence. No, he doesn't have a point? Sure. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well... Phoenix. The judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If he feels with something wrong here, the devil of his will be ringing the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? Do I? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Not right now? This has to be another trap. Better if I don't say anything than risk throwing out a better piece of evidence. Looks like the defense isn't seeing a peep on this one. Which means this court is adjourned. Phoenix! We will lose this case if we give up here. So you'd better sure to start to just something quick. Slow down, we all know that I have a tendency to be wrong more than... I can't even say it. There is one! The one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance. Only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtain calls for all of us. You now present one, and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? Chet, I don't fucking know. I do not fucking know. The wine glass? The badge? Fuck you, it's not the badge. It's not the badge. Piece of evidence that they haven't seen yet. No, Floof, it's not the badge. It's not the goddamn badge. I know the drink. This. It's a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The season is missed because of the victim's struggle against the assailant. Did I just look my way through this? Did I just look my way through this? The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Also just not like notice how small of a base that glass has. Jeez, that's not very stable. Well yes, I see your point. However, this glass that's sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that did not fall over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do y'all have to say? Oh, well, yes, it's a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can't stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright, could Miss Andrews really have set the glass down without thinking? There's no way. If I pay a week here, the trail is over. If I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. You just might fall for it if you thought provoking enough. Speaking of glasses, I need a drink. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set up the cup on the table. Turn the situation on its head again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? So he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. White, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Oh, sorry, I'm out of it. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then... Of course it's been thoroughly inspected. For fingerprints. Fingerprints? There are only one set of fingerprints left in this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims, nor the defendants. Rather, they were one of Adrian Andrews. What? And that is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set down the glass down on the dresser. What you just say makes a lot of sense. I don't know, would you be that calm? I could guarantee you that if she would be shocked enough that it would just fall on the floor today. Now do you see, right? You can't change any part of my scenarios that explains everything all too well. I've done long and hard of this past year what it means to be a prosecutor. And from there on out I will show you the answer I've come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth? I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Oh boy, Chad, here she is. Oh. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Ah, gotcha. Grr. I wonder what happened to that calm composure you had earlier. Oh, Edgy boy, it's been what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew it was under that helmet? It was the wicked witch of the witness stand. I tell you, I think this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with a terrible crime. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know about. Someone please take away your gun. Shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam. No, please, by all means interrupt her, please! On. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please. I should have stated that, yeah. It's true what they say, it's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldback? It was a great job being able to see my David you won. Who won? It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean, you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that Angard saying he's cute and fresh way or something. But not me, I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I've no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in the real man who won Corita. Produced about the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was practicing in front of his room that night. Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Oh god. This is horrible. Anyway, after the ceremony, we went to pace about in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on a job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That was someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor one's room. Chat, since we like to reuse things in this case, it's not going to be a man. It's going to be a guy in a fucking suit, and we can't tell who's inside of the fucking suit because that's how the first case with her went. Just fucking know how this is gonna go. It was Engard, Matt Engard. He's trying to sneak his way out of one's room. So Mr. Engard came out of the victim's room. See? It has to be him. He's a murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. It's more like cross-contamination. Miss Allback, what was your post on that night? What was your post that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for the trifling show. But I refused to help, love, you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. If you took out a few of the nails. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, that manager with the glasses seems to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's why you went to hang around the victim's door? Something you're very interested in? And just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling anyone, you know. It's top secret between me and one. And Tenchi Poo, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she's interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But it should prove relevant. We can always have it appended in the testimony later. Looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And did I been a state of incident of the victim's door the entire time? Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Corrida's room? I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Chat, I might hate her, but that's a very good mindset to have, trust me. Trust me. Because it doesn't feel like that I'm all or a single date than 20. Well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, the witness saw someone, correct? Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This is sort of information that has to be guarded from the masters, Sonny. The man that came out of one's room, he was... Yes? He was? Oh, I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud. Oh, what wouldn't I give to have Francisco's whip right about now? Well, I guess I can tell you since he was such a bad boy anyway. You saw my client? Are you sure about that? Yes, see. Really? Annoying brat. When I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year we should delve into this a bit further. Yeah, it fucking knows. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters. But it does. Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing. That racing jacket. Ah, he was wearing that at the detention center too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Man. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? I don't think it was important. I guess it really wasn't that important after all. Mr. Wright, do you know why my say time is valuable? If not, I suggest you learn. You've wasted 3 minutes of this woman's youth. That's more valuable than gold to me. Why do I suddenly feel old in the presence of a child is whining? She may not remember things I may be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. It's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has a tendency to jump off topic. She stayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. So I think I'm supposed to present the newspaper here. I can't believe your Fenty is all Fenty? What do you mean Fenty? Fentanyl? We don't have fentanyl here. Don't do Fent, chat. It's not good for you. Your Honor? Okay, not Your Honor, death. See if I get anything interesting on the other things as well. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail. You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by silky hair, his sparkling, shiny teeth. His teeth are shining? Well, he's shining all around this week on this week's spin-up poster, dearie. This week's spin-up? Why do you? I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with him what you saw that night. What? And God's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, you whipsnapper. Where does the man you saw carrying? In which hand? His right or his left? Ah, now this is a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question. Indeed. Please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright. Sorry. What was the man you saw carrying in his right hand? Ah, he wasn't carrying anything in that hand. Then how about his left? Empty. Well, this whole thing has been a lot of nothing. Was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? I mean, it would be, because he would be carrying the knife, is it? Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. You don't really have to put it that way to get me to say. Mr. Wright, there's something much more valuable in a person's pride, and that is time. Please don't waste this court precious time with court's questions. Yes, yes. Hmm? No? Or out of the room. No, because... Wait a minute. No, he should be wearing the costume because it was found in his pants. Like, why would he... Hold on. Of course, it was very important. Perhaps you'd like to point out to see it, Edgeworth. Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket to be abandoned to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but we're alright. Witness, please. I really don't like to be bad mouth anyone without a reason, but if I must. Why are you reloading when you don't have a penalty? Fair. Fair. Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket? What do you think? It's not like I've seen him wearing anything, anything other than a horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it. She's so sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. She may not remember things we were mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. It's really bad for us. I guess I don't want to take damage is the problem.
Objection!
Miss Allback? What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? Ah, it's button number 2 in the Jamming Ninja's costume. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here, give it here! If you don't give it to me, I will punish you with this! Someone take the fucking toy gun from her. Wow, she really is a diet fan to want to button her covered in blood. This button was discovered on Miss Hengar's body during a full body search. See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Engard. It was caught up in the pleats of a nickel samurai Hakama pants. See? See? And Angard is an Nickel Samurai. Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Angard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, then maybe... This outfit is hideous, right? Because the tape recorder stuck in my chest. It's heavy, so heavy. Wish I could have switched to CDs ages ago. Take a look in the mirror, because it's about as interesting as a documentary on curling. You should take a tip from Edgy Poo. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Angard, the man, but Mr. Angard, the Nickel Samurai. But when you think about it... No. They're really one and the same anyway. It really is a repeat from last year. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy Poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. Should be the one side, not you. Angard, yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was a Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to the post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn a Nickel costume samurai when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say it would be the one inside of that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside of that costume? Don't be a bad little boy, thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Ah, young ones today. I told you there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. At least she's just as delightful of a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. I don't want to cross-examine this witness. I don't want her anywhere near me. Would you please get on with your testimony? What's your language, young man? What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone near he. He is a Nickel Samurai. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? The witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and just stick to the facts. Okay! You promise, right? Right. I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Remind me to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth. Old chum. What the fuck is this dynamic? Be a little bit more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago you said he was wearing a racing jacket and now he's not. Not too long ago? Now let me ask you this. When you were itty bitty, what was your grand dream? Huh? What did you want to do when you grew up, whippersnapper? My dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public court. So what? See? And look at where you are now. You're not just Wagner, are you? Well, what I said earlier. Who puts any weight in things like that? The now is everything. You can't be held responsible for the past. Since when did court become a theatrics over testimonies? All that matters is that man was inside of the costume. Isn't that enough? And why would that be? That way no one could see his face, of course. But there's still no advantage for him that I can't see. In fact, you would think that the costume would make him stand out all the more. You're such an annoying child, you know that. You disagree with everything I say. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing. And that including the jamming ninja? Of course it included him. That's why Angard came out of the one's room. I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai? As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Kind of throwing the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony and sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I'll have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Is she? Because he didn't know about it, I guess. What do you mean, fan out incoming of mine on old back? No, please don't. Please don't. For the love of God. Okay, so not that. Why do I propose contact? God damn it. I mean, his fingerprints wouldn't be on a knife, right? There's something wrong with liking someone, but I don't like Gonta as a thing. I like him as a joke, but I don't like him as a character, I get. Well, I didn't care much for him, really. Please take a look at this. So, it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scam me dead, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You didn't even have to ask, it was because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That's exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? And whose cars are we driving? If Mr. Vanguard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on the knife right off. That's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began stabbing. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there's one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as a Nickel Samurai. At the time, the defendant held no intent of murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim at the stage show. You just said, motherfucker, that it was premeditated murder. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It is well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes. I've heard that before. Now, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory is to go like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling on about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Vanguard was the killer, if that's the case. I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Did I fuck myself over here? No, because he has a knife with him. This knife is used by Mr. Vanguard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was in fact a killer, then he brought his knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Corita. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. Supposition 1? From the get-go. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing a costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprint shouldn't all be over. Which means the defendant's fingerprint shouldn't have been all over it like a bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. The knife was planted by the real killer to hide the identity and mislead us. Order. Order, I say. Order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To frame him because the fingerprints all over it. It's to frame my client, Mr. Vanguard, of course. To frame? Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? Could you just establish that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume? And if that were true, then there shouldn't be fingerprints on his knife. Ugh. Witness? Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Ajipu? Ah. Witness, did you or did you not see the Nickel Samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but... Try saying he mixed up Mr. Vanguard with the Nickel Samurai as checked on TV. But I mean, I can't really do anything about it now. Look, I was waiting around in the front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting around for then? That's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Corrida, am I correct, witness? The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So Oldback was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corrida. Maybe... Phoenix, maybe the Oldback was waiting around for that person. If it is what I think me is hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Oldback? You were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, were you not? It's my only bet, really. Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Vanguard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? Seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is... well, is this... oh, I see. The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. And as manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's... Adrian Andrews, without a doubt. The witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, it's fine. I can't throw away this whole sort of confidentially stuff then. Witness? What in the world are you... Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. Very bad feeling. I've got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, I'll really proceed from here. I really don't want to do this, however I simply cannot let this point slide. I see. Very well then, witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready. This is going to take the wind out of your young ones. Some take a gun away. I'm sure we're all capable of handling this, really. It's not like we're 10 years old. The Vanguard one is one evil man. He thought he could ruin Paul Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager just to get in close with Juan. Cannot condone such a dirty freak. So I took actions. Oh, and this is a top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me knows it, okay? I mean, the entire fucking newspaper knew it. The defendant sent his manager? What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant? Never heard that one before. Mr. Wright wrote about this Adrian Andrews person. We have looked into this matter, and found that the truth in the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip. Should this be true? And this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I have to smash through this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful, the old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right, and God is nothing but your average full-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you're gonna burn old bags at fire. I don't think that's the saying. Time to fire up the afterburners and head highway to the danger zone. You can't say something like that without proof, that's just slander. But it's true, that woman was getting intimate with poor one. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss A.A. The name of the magazine this came from is Gossip Land. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? Well, mostly. What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. You heard it here, chat. Discrimination is bad. Please do not discriminate. Alright? Got it. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, Angard will never get to meet the say touche. A scandal? What do you mean by that? You are a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you know what don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No, I wasn't asking what a scandal means. I don't even know that much. Instructions unclear. I did a microaggression against a toaster. Well, then God thought he could own a monopoly on my popularity. You don't have any proof that Mr. Ango did any such thing. You must be suffering from shock of hearing the truth. And now since you're so much shock, you can't do anything right. You're right, I can't do anything. But boy do I wish I could do something about you. Alright then, Sonny, show me what you got. Can you show me proof that Angar didn't bear any ill will towards one? I don't think I have any proof of that, do I? I was on bad terms with Angard. No, I don't think I have anything. I don't have anything to offer. See? Just as I thought! And you're lecturing me by saying things without proof. Just giving me a free pass to say whatever I want whenever I want, silly boy. Me and my big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles. It's for you, anyway. So, what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I was lying in wait and close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of one's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you young ones need. You were going to teach her a good lesson? I was going to make her read the damaging beams of my ray gun. Like this. No, stop! Oh, it's just too bad that the woman didn't come through the door that night. Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea told me the kid's over. Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information? Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drill a hole into my brain, you'll never find out. How in the world did a little bat get such a secret piece of information? Press further. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got the secret information, you won't be able to go to home today. Angie Poo, what are you doing? Help me! No, What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me, then you'll get my reward. You'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice.
Objection!
The witness could have gotten their information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did Oldback get her information, inside information from? There has to be something else I can figure out. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either, it makes your client look bad either way. I don't really think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. This will be something we can catch on to. Yeah, when I find I'm going to press the heck out of it. I think it just should show the tablet now. Or am I thinking too simple here? Or am I thinking too simple here? So no one else is supposed to know the secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldback? Right. Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that. Witness. I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire secret info, isn't it? Maybe? We can't let proof, it looks more like proof of spite towards the witness. If nothing to back up your claims, then they're no more than valid than gossip. Objection sustained. Oh. I'm not entirely sure it is either. Yeah, it was this one. The investigative photographer Lotta Hart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On the piece of paper she had written down some of her outrageous impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What? Outrageous ideas, you say? No, I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless. Ah, that's it. That's the note. No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you're the one to Miss Hart's note. I'm a huge fan of Wands, that's why. That infamous puffy-head whippersnapper. She's working with that evil Engard. She said so to herself, and God, I'm a sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. She doesn't even believe it herself. Archie Poo, you believe me, don't you? I love it when he gets like this. I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only a little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Well, there's only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just this once. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? Put a little more pressure. Never forgive her. If I let up on her now, she'll get away. We have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. My first day on the job since training enough to deal with this idiot. Witness? You said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it. Why are you putting my credibility in the scrutiny again? God, I can't believe you said damn it. It was all back. I don't believe that the note was the only thing you stole that night. The camera? Miss Oldback. That note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? Yeah. It's kind of silly that if you point at the same thing twice, but whatever. A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was taking a huge, racing a huge stink over a camera. More language, right? She kept saying something about my sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me. My witness? What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it's only logical that you have the camera too. Ugh. Looks like you found me again, Sonny. Is this a camera? Is this the camera you're looking for? Ah, that's... What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you, I fall in love, and I borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. So... she's just old Marissa. Got it. So that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said... Slimeback Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, you saw it when I saw that. I had to know what sort of pictures you're taking. Calm down, Marissa. I'm a professional security guard. My business is to notice things. Bailiff. Check this camera's photos. Hurry. We must examine them at once. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. This is the Nickel Samurai. See, I told you, it's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. What does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself doesn't prove that the person is a defendant, however. In his own confession, Ms. Hancock clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that's the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright. The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if there is an objection here and below it, then it will put Maya's life in jeopardy. Can't make a mistake here, there's only one road out of this mess. The photo that Lotta took to us. I don't know, I kinda like view it. I don't think he's wearing that camera, is he? No, maybe he is, but it's like no plating on it. I don't know, something strange with it. There is something strange with this photo. Oh, I knew this was coming, right? It does, Mr. Edgeworth. I think we can all agree there's nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. With a bunker buster? That's what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright. Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not like that. Also, this case goes on pretty long so far. To find something wrong with this photo, can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did this photo come from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't you take a good shot, especially when it counts? No, say your objection. I don't know, is the arm supposed to be missing or is that just me? It kinda looks like there's like no right arm. Also, yes, I'm tilting my hat, don't worry about it. Shoved in his pants? I guess? But why? It's person ears, of course. You mean the Nickel Samurai? And what's wrong with that? time of the murder, Miss Hancock was in his own room. Which means that his Nickel Samurai... If you think that's all it takes, you should reconsider your choice of occupation. Ugh. I think it's about time you retired. Looks like there was no problem with this photo after all. The problem was with the brain of the liar, Your Honor. Wait. You don't want to let your chance fly away from you, Mr. White. You're all deaf. It's not discussing no reason. Okay. Accused will surrender to the court immediately. Yeah. The brutality. I'm just gonna use the auto function for this, I guess. Feet? I'd like to direct the court attention to this area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can. And? What does that mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. Vanguard. What's the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate, with actual facts that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Oh, god damn it. Fine, you have me there, I guess. Please pay particular attention to the area on the bottom of the Hakama. His socks. You can see his socks. Why not paying enough attention to feet? Well, excuse me for not being Ven, I guess. Exactly, however, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his Hakama, but just to walk. I'm gonna summon Ven here, please don't. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside of this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is? Mr. Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. Just why is it cold here? He doesn't feel under attack? Then why haven't I damaged his case at all? Mr. Edgeworth, why does this leave us? The person in this photo is not Matt Angard. And everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. Figured it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you've proven that the person inside of this costume is not Matt Angard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. But you should be focused on his Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why is he so calm? Right, let's say your thoughts. Who is this person in this photograph? I mean... Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who the Nickel Samurai is, it's no other than this woman. Attorney's badge. Creature of darkness, I summon you to -3. No, why would you do that? And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. Vanguard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Vanguard at night. And how does this all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Vanguard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as the murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is what you want, right? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of June Corrida. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order, order, order. It looks like this trial has had the most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. The verdict cannot be passed without us first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day? Ah. If we don't get the verdict today, then Maya. No, then we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. So what am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Raise an objection, Now then.
Objection!
Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she's not... Why are you looking so smug? I mean, it's highly likely that Gumshoes briefed him about the one Mia case. Oh, Maya. I bore wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But... we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? You think you underestimate me, Your Honor? What do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave away to subpoenaing Miss Adrian is all is happening according to plan. Even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? What? What's the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently in the Wright prosecutor's lobby. She's the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by the man? Somehow I knew there was no way I could overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle's far from over. Exactly. Very well. We'll call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in the time, Mr. Edgeworth. Court will now take a 10-minute recess. Yeah, this trail case is already... well, I mean, I kinda wasted 20 minutes of the beginning of the stream. It might just be that Friday's stream still is in jeopardy if this goes on much longer. I guess we'll see. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian! No way! Not cool, I collected Adrian Andrews. She's a manager. Would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person with easy access to the knife use at dinner was, well, her. Does he know about the Maya situation? I mean, Gumshoes is not allowed to say it, but it's fucking Gumshoes, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I'm sleeping like a log the entire time. I see, she could have easily planted that blood-covered button in your Yakama. Or she was the one who came out to wake me up. Then, dude, saying it really was her. Yes, she's a real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time the trial's over. It'll be alright, I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day. Get me a verdict and it's refreshing like spring breeze, okay? Phoenix. You think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impact's as a strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. Sounded like she left a suicide note and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Corrida. Can't they get the suicide note back? Well, that sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who is it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impacts. It was Edgeworth. Looks like he's still the one in command of the ship. Not let you go down yet. Spring breeze of my youth, refreshing out the scent of fresh lemon, you see. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. Prosecution calls us a witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corrida's room. Welcome back, Samus. What's your occupation? I'm the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Engart. I see. Now then. Before you begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yeah, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. And would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I've no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossip Lad. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he would all work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell me about your relationship to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter, or was it bait and fry? It reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one's accusing you of that. I think there was someone who moved back to Denver. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court. Now, about what happened when you discovered the murder had taken place. It was the time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was naturally the exact same as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember lots of such things I'd seen at the crime. And then disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that's where the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. She's one cool and collected customer and she has the brains to match. Yeah, I know. In order to get a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack her when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offenses, the instant this trial is over, understand? And what was Miss Engo doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini performance as an Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. Engo did say he was taking a nap. And I guess you could say, if not have been taken out then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of this room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you?
Objection!
Right, I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence without a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Angus' knife from his room? No? Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. And why did you do that? That's a friendly gesture. One was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show is supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon. What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at all that time. I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? You were in shock? What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Corita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. And you can seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife was in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too. Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next, witness? Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on his wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down, without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When did you discover the dead body of one Corita, you were in great shock. And that's why you poured yourself a glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. With one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. That's what she was starting to say just now. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry, I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. Looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and everything else you have revealed to the testimony. I'm sorry, but nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. But the guitar case on the other side was wet, so that means that you opened it after the fact, no? What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take one spills. So I set the glass I was holding down to the dresser. That's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. Thought she was already in total control of herself. That's what you would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between perception and reality. Doesn't sound like there's any clear contradictions in the testimony just now. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong decisive evidence. To find something. You just have to, for Maya's sake. Okay. Now the guessing game begins again. Yeah, like there's like water on the top, so that means that it's opened or... Yeah. Right? You testify that you knocked the flower vase over. This is correct. Yes. And are you sure it fell on the guitar case? This is some problem with what I said. It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that is actually was so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell on top of the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. What is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open and the vase fell, the glass shard should be inside, not outside of the case. What is your point, Wright? If the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say that she didn't touch the guitar case. But the small matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright guitar was found in the studio. There's no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be, however... the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, does it? No, she was checking the guitar because she assumed that the suicide note was in there or some shit. Like that's like the best place to hide it. Seems there's no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to have more details about the guitar case? The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Huh. Can't believe that anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. Can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along, for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. Not want me to clear because I was a bit dazed. Suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. That's why I opened the case. Even I don't know. Looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using in any ways to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. During your testimony just now, did you clearly remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see. Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. So you opened the guitar case then? Yes, well maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Mr. Guido's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing that you would do is to call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitarist thought it was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would you care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. How long have you been a liar, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials will be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now. I was planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if you had a weapon to hit her with. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found. Oh, brother. Like, I know where they want to go with this, at least I think. But I don't know how to get there. It's not the badge, it's never the badge.
Objection!
Your Honor. Okay. This sucks. The case was empty after all. Why I opened the case even I don't know. She wanted to check that thing for the suicide note. Either the guitar or the case. It's time for my helpline? Yeah. It's only some water, but on the top of the... So it was open before the thing got knocked over. Yeah, I guess.
Objection!
I guess that checks out. There's no way you ever want to open the guitar case. How would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Ah, yes, my dear Watson. Because only the fingerprints of the guitar case on this guitar case were the ones of the victim. Well, I feel cheap for using it, but I don't feel as cheap as using a guide for it, I guess. Where is it, Miss Andrews? No, you shouldn't assume that I must have left fingerprints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? But if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time. Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, no, because your fingerprints were found on the glass, no? That doesn't check out. So of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems that the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That's strange. You were wearing gloves? Isn't it a little strange? Why is it strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yeah, the fucking wine glass. I have your proof right here, this wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Yeah. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself with this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? That you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Yeah, she's fucking over her own lies. Order, order, order. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that the guitar case plays a very important role here. It's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty though. But the bride with the guitar was at the studio. Phoenix, for all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case when it was no bride with a guitar? You don't mean... Wait. It was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not it either. That's not right either. I'll admit that would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves despite the fact on the case? Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Stay the court towards an unrelated topic, and lull us all into his misguided... No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. Which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it's wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you are sure, right? Then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with his murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well... Let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not only being the only thing. You don't mean to suggest that the bright black guitar was... So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours, you haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? I guess? And why would something like that be inside a guitar case, let alone this one? Why, Mr. Wright, why? Well, I thought it might have just been possible. God damn it. I have a suggestion, why don't you put that void into where your brain's supposed to be? Yeah, I never bring it out again. God damn it. We needed to prove something. Oh, I wish I could save there. What was in the case of the time of the murder? It can't really be anything else now, can it? What was inside this case at the time of the murder? I mean, if it's not the suicide note she was looking for, then what? I mean, it wouldn't be a thing, would it? Yeah, fuck if I know. Fuck if I know. The thing in her hand all the time? The knife? Why would that be in there? No, why would that be in there? And why would something like that be inside a guitar case, let alone this one? Why, Mr. White, why? Well, just thought it might be possible. See? That's a suggestion, why don't you put it... yeah. That is not correct. Oh, I can't even use auto mode for this. Oh no. Never mind, you do not have the card in evidence. Oh yeah, that card, yeah. I mean, I don't even know if that card is going to amount to anything either. Like, yeah, Maya have one as well, but I don't think it's going to play in this specific cross-examination. I don't know, I'm just gonna present this and I'm gonna load the thing and put auto on and see what the auto does. Because I literally have no idea what it could be. What was in here? What? Huh? This a photograph? So why would that be in the guitar case? What? Yeah, I'm not following here whatsoever. Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture? It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... inside the guitar case was a nickel samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? No, seriously, what the fuck are you going on about? Huh? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yeah, explain yourself. Are you saying that the windows opened the guitar case to take out the costume? What an insane point would it be to do something like that? An insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could just make her escape. Yeah, but how did it get in there? Unless we're talking about the spare costume, because the guy was sleeping in his room still wearing the costume. What? After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have any reason, do you have anything to support such a preposterous ID? Just outside of the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Order. It looks like we've wanted into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy, speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside of a costume. Wait a second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Metangard's. Why would something of the defendant be in the victim's room? And inside a guitar case of all cases? Yeah. True. That's a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was the Nickel Samurai costume doing inside of the guitar case? It was a spare costume? Mr. Vanguard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we're talking about... How the fuck are you supposed to know that there is a spare costume in this case? What? What the fuck is this bullshit? No, this is bullshit. Fuck you! What? Now you're saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Think outside of the box? Fuck you, I'm trying to work with the evidence I have. That's what I'm saying. And how do you explain that the costume inside was inside of the guitar case? That would mean that the victim himself had brought the spare to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was a jamming ninja. Why would he secretly bring in the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? I mean, I guess that's what the confession ceremony was for. I guess. What could be such a reason behind such a peculiar act? Fuck you too for not knowing, I guess. And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto, I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was... Yeah, I mean this, but... What's this? On the night of the murder after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai is going to hold a special press conference. Also, hello there. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Angard himself said he had no idea that he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, there can be only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. One Kurita himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Kurita was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. Oh yeah, that makes sense, but... this is... such a stupid point. He was going to dress up as a Nickel Samurai and hold a conference, but why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with this right now is that he intended to reveal what he intended to reveal at his conference. The Nickel Samurai is going to confess something. And by confess, I wager he's just going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Kurita, posing as a Nickel Samurai, Let's go to speak about Matt Engard. Yes, I guess that's what it could mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's a public disclosure. Technicalities? Miss Andrews, I can see why you process what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by one. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he also helped to set it up. And the person who provided a second costume for him. That was also me. You? Who won about everything on the Jamming Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure that Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow one had in his hands the secret, the secret so powerful that it would destroy Mel's acting career as it had been revealed. What? Do you know what the secret of Mr. Engard is, Miss Andrews? That's something only one knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious of everyone, but that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. But he seems like such a cool dude. I mean, we don't really have any gossip surrounding Mr. Engard either, so I'm not sure what this could be at all. Protect Mr. Engard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor. I understand. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill one no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. This doesn't count for everything. Well, I'm the logical type. Finally seeing a true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with his testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep in mind as you cross-examine, Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn our logic upside down. No, because the guy was strangled, the knife was taken afterwards, so... The moment I saw the crime, I had the feeling that Matt was a murderer. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit a crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things come true, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school, at least from what I remember. May I continue now? So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why one chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that's when you could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt Engard. And you know this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. What, you went to an Ivy League law school, what were they teaching you? Hamburgers and noodles, I guess. But I'm sure Mr. Engard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing is here that the information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree, Miss Andrews. Please correct your testimony, if you please. Grasping at straws now, are you, Mr. Wright? But I don't have to prove I'm right. Sheesh. But you didn't already testify earlier that Mr. Engard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so that you could come for Mr. Engard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. Keep trying, but no matter what, but I can't find no flaws with what Miss Andrews had said. Can't say the same for some people in this courtroom, however. You're just glaring straight at me, huh? It's glaring at you, smart guy. You can hardly call a knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and the murderer had fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the jamming ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the police of Mass Hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. Looks like we're outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can sense the sight of a man who can gracefully accept his defeat. In fact, with his Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. Actually, maybe I should press this one again, because I didn't really do that afterwards. Has Mr. Vanguard done something to hurt you or betray you personally? How do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Corrida with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. Vanguard, yet you still helped him out. The person on trial right now is Mr. Vanguard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Alright. Just to make sure there was anything there. And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads of the button and the costume are matched up, they were found to fit out together perfectly, so I heard. I've heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such fine detail? Don't look at me like that. Just because I'm prepared and you're not. And I thought out of this time for sure. Is there anything to trip her up? It has to be here. But where and what? But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. Vanguard at any time. Why then would she wait here until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Corrida planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. Vanguard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax philosophical power hour. And please, stop slandering the witness. As expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounded like a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if we can press a little more. You should know this by now. But you'll need strong decisive evidence to make her talk. Call the chief. I'm going to pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. Oh my. Okay, so he pointed out it was probably here, but... I'm not gonna lie, chat, it's very tempting to just press the story mode button again whenever this happens. Because there's already blood on it? Like, why would there be blood on it if it got ripped off during the fight?
Objection!
Your Honor, that statement. Okay, no. As Fink presented the flyer while I was trying to protect him. So I felt it had to protect him. Oh, whoops. It was not the present evidence button. Your Honor, this statement contradicts his evidence. No, Floof, it was not that. It was not that. It seemed obvious. Yeah, I think this case is definitely going to be a 4-day affair with how this is shaking out, isn't it? Also, this person does not look like 21 years old. Like, I don't know. Yeah, Matt does, but Juan doesn't. Time for the magic button, I guess.
Objection!
Oh. Does that fact. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This burden has the victim's blood on it. I get it, I get it. Because he was strangulated and died, that was the fight that went down. And there was like no blood involved in that. So after the fact that you got just like someone stabbed a knife in him and took it off with the blood on it, so it was like after the murder. Yeah. Yeah, okay, sure. Once again, chat, sorry that I'm completely out of it today because of those first 5 minutes of the stream. Like, that threw me off more than it should have. Which would mean that it was ripped off the costume when? After the knife is stabbed into the victim. Exactly. Which means it's possible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle. Because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. Yeah, he does look like he's in his 40s, not gonna lie, Wright says it. What is the meaning of this, Wright? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim already died? What does it change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did it serve? What purpose? You now know this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murder took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, what does this mean? He just dresses like an old man. He looks like he could have been part of the Beatles. Does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? To pin the crime on Vanguard. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. Vanguard. There's no way anyone would put a bloody button on their own pants. That's right, Mr. Vanguard was set up. That's right, Mr. Vanguard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is? Well, Mr. White, who in the world is the real killer then? Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet, not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Vanguard, what is? I mean, this might be a trick question. Like, it might be this plan to frame him, but let's just go with the obvious one here. Me, Phoenix Wright. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you! You are Mr. Corita's killer! Chat, hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on. Oh shit, which image is it? Which image is it? Not that one. That one. There we go. You are Mr. Corita's killer! Whoa! Okay, don't do that again, I guess. That was weird. Why did that wipe out everything? What? What? Yeah, I just kind of flashed all the images I had for some reason, I don't know why. Order, Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points towards Miss Andrews. Also, Chad, I'm not going to be confused, but Adrian is a weird name for a woman. I mean, I guess it doesn't help because we had a clown called Adrian in Dutch. Or acrobat, rather. Which was famous, so probably doesn't help. How preposterous, you can't take any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then, what about his knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he already had been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. Vanguard, naturally. The knife covered in defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his wound. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. How many new glasses do you have? Then, what about the button that was found in Miss Hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. Vanguard was the real killer, there was no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Well, there goes another pair of glasses. The only person who could have put his button into Mr. Vanguard's Hakama is the one person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? There is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. The costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. Well, there go our glasses again. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found in the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it up. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left the fingerprints on the glass to show that yes indeed, she was the classic day's discoverer of a dead body. I mean, the spelling is weird, feminine spelling is Adrienne, but the name itself is unisex. Huh. Well, I can't say I've ever heard it in real life then. Fair. Now there go glasses again. And to top it all off, there's this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on earth can believe this Nicholas Summer is Mr. Vanguard. He would be too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I call it this time. Miss Andrews? I refuse. Daga, kotowaru. I refuse to testify. What was that? There is a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something. If it can incriminate me. Ah yes, you plead the fifth. That's not the fifth, I guess, but... well, yes, you're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination. By allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Vanguard's room... Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Alright. That's it. That's when Francisco planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things look bad. You did a good job of proving everything until this point, Phoenix. There's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? Heh. What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? Was this so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up until this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to prove a single piece of definite proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did, in fact, harbor a wish to murder Mr. Corita. It kind of looks like she's holding a pink notebook, like from the background sprite, but I mean, you see her, she's like holding the card. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Corita? Fuck me, she's holding that. How have I not noticed that she's been holding the stupid pink notebook the entire time? I guess that's not where I've been looking. Well then, I guess I'm the clown. I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so we'll abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, but maybe not. There's nothing to prove either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No, just taking the defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify. And the defense's theory that she's the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definite proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there's only one thing this court can do. And that is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial... Tomorrow? We don't have it tomorrow. But if we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial... Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. No, then this court is... It's not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination, however. While the topic of conversation... if the topic of conversation was something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that's very true, but... Actually, there was one little thing I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural it is. Usually when one finds a body, they're shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. Shaken, not stirred. The name is Bond, James Bond. So the action is very unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again, as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Ms. Andrews, if you please. I need a drink. Holy shit. Holy shit, this is a yapathon. A glass of juice. I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in a messy state. And he was sitting slumped over and tried looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, I thought he wasn't dead. Didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, is when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured a glass of juice for the victim? Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Use the truth, don't worry, Zelda. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in the brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Shit, I'm getting tired of speaking. Uh, but there wasn't anyone else in that room, right? Of course not. Then, what did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there was a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer to be revealed to you? Oh, hiccups. In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Nah. I was surprised when I walked into the room and I saw it in a messy state. So, it was a mess? Are you sure it was a mess because of your fight with Mr. Corridon? I understand your frustration at not being able to prove your theory, however. Before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. Okay. And then, what did you see next, witness? Slumped over? Yes, he was just sitting there, with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me, or did that right there sound like a little odd? Then it did cross your mind. I thought maybe he smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. And then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see, so he didn't think he was dead after all. At all. He thought he fainted. I thought he was asleep at first. But then the room is in such a messy state. I thought maybe he had gone into a fight with someone. And that's why he went to pour a glass of juice? Yes. He always had a hard time waking up. So one always had a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see, and after that what happened next? And how did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set a glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked, and I staggered backwards. I knocked the flower vase over. That's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to. This is the absolute end for both sides. Then Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now's the best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't it a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, really tell us the truth this time? I have no fucking idea what even game it is. Oh, I didn't want to do that, I wanted to check it. I didn't want to present it, I wanted to check it, I pressed the wrong button. Oh, it's also the wrong button. I've only been playing this game for 17 streams. Also, that's not even the thing I wanted to check. That's the one. I mean, he's indeed sitting slumped over. I'm not really seeing anything else with this, do I? Like, so far these two have like played no part whatsoever. I have no fucking idea. Well, he's not sitting in the corner, I guess. No, that doesn't count. That's a dumb argument you made. Apparently there's a corner.
Objection!
So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? I guess. No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. No, right, the fucking knife is sticking into him. Yeah. Yeah, she didn't mention the knife. Yeah, true. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Corita's chest. If anyone who saw the scene would have immediately thought that it was a dead man. Well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. And then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is? Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Well, full power glasses. And your lie has been proven one very thing very clearly. That you are the real killer. No! Looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Medengard, is not guilty after all. But it's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed one. But you are the one who refused to testify. Sure as fuck, no. And your reason for not doing so, is that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because, Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse. I refuse to testify. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Medengard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Engard. Oh, for fuck's sake, Edgeworth! Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak about the absolute real truth. God fucking damn it, Edgeworth. The absolute real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted the silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt Engard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. It's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? I should lost it. I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Francisca von Karma. Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of one order. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then right now Miss Andrews is... Yesterday she was tossed a lifesaver from Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matt Engard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging onto them. Dan, what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All I have to do now is get her not guilty. That's not my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill one. Help! Please! Someone, help me! Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what he did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Is the real mastermind? Isn't it obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there, right? Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Force Andrews to testify. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Mr. Andrews, I'd like for you to know what you're really hiding. Mr. White, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. Vanguard would get an acquittal, but in this place you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However, what is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth? This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop, please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares them more than anything else in the world. Well, please stop. I beg you. If people find out, I'll... There's nothing wrong about being dependent, woman. Come on now. For fuck's sake. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Damn, son. Edgeworth casually encouraging suicide. Can't believe that. Edgeworth, I gave you so cold. However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. Being Huckle's bad, you can say that's a skill issue. When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's rooms. And then, I stabbed one's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why I ended up using the naked samurai costume. Stab the body? With a knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on some person. A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but... this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. It's a comeback of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again. Just like last time. Last time? So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, one Corrida, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt Angard for the murder. And this is her crime. What? How is this possible? I mean, isn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. This just kind of drags on, doesn't it? Oh, brother. But you could tell from the state the room was in that it must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. But the scarf is part of the Gemini Ninja's costume, so... I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face as well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up, and report the juice. What is this plan that you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew it because he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop one and silence it for good. That's what I thought. I should forge some evidence and pin his crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant a knife. That is so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner, he has his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. So you were the one to stab the victim with a knife? Gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then when I stepped one's dead body, I realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So I thought to rip one of the buttons off him and planted in Mr. Rengar's Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? A bit of an inconvenience. An inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. Don't bet your spikes now, come on. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldback for you. I'd already been caught and made into a big scoop for a suddenly weakling tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. You were the one who prepared the costume, aren't you? Yes, you took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Julian's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes. Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is his secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in a nickel samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was a real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when opening the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. Think we've heard enough. So after all that, you went back to Mr. Rengar's room and planted the button? Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it in the bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word! What does it all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Engard. Yesterday that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I've done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, you can be certain she's not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. Of course, examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Wright, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for the detention immediately. And that is all. The court is adjourned for today. Well, rip my eye, I guess. Today's trial, it's over. And I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might take a look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's at my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this! Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on the day. In the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. The new sprite for Phoenix's spare. Found this card when I discovered one's body. It was lying there right next to him. Did you find that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to one's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not, but it's still a strange card if you'd ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. It's a calling card from a murderer. Come on now. Witness, that card! Give it to me, hurry! Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This, I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? And what does it mean? Oh, god damn it. It's a calling card of an assassination. The fucking Phantom Thieves. I don't fucking know. Part 3-1 investigation. Oh, brother. Well, it's been, yeah, 2.5 hours of this. Yeah, we'll find this out tomorrow, I guess. I was full of hope and optimism that I would be able to get through this and like do the investigation on one day again, like last week. Turns out today's court case was a lot longer than last week's. So fuck me, I guess. Yeah, find out tomorrow. Leaving you on that cliffhanger. Alright, thank you all for watching. Once again, excuse me for being a little bit out of it. Yeah. Fuck you indeed. Oi. How about fuck you, huh? But that'll be it for today. Don't worry about that, that's fine. See y'all next time.